banging, everybody! I'm Lindsay Geektron, and this is LolKing's League Trends for the week of April 14th, 2015. This week's show is brought to you by Full Sail University. If you've ever considered working behind the scenes to create video games, Full Sail University offers programs that can prepare you for a future in the industry. Whether you're interested in coding, art producing, or mobile game development, there's a game degree program at Full Sail University that can teach you the tech, tools, and workflow used by today's studios. Full Sail students receive a laptop along with game industry software at a deep institutional discount. For more information, visit fullsail.edu/leaguetrends or click the link in the description below. Clicky click. This week, our featured champions include Shyvana, Graves, Shen, Rammus, Vladimir, and Nidalee. Let's dive into Summoner's Rift. At the top of increased pick rates this week are Gragas, Vladimir, Shyvana, Morgana, and Vayne. Watching the LCS playoffs, you might have seen a new twist on the top lane lately: Smite and Teleport. What? Well, it's to use Cinderhulk. The new item is very strong, but can only be bought if you have Smite. There are a few other side benefits as well. Smiting either the Gromp camp or purchasing the Red Smite, aka Skirmisher Saber, and smiting an enemy player provides additional combat power. The reason Shyvana stands out here is her quick jungle clear and gap-closing ultimate, Dragon's Descent. Smite allows her to rapidly outfarm the enemy top laner, and she has pretty good mobility even without flash. Other champs can use the same summoners, but Shyvana is one of the most natural fits. All that said, the tactic isn't perfect. Cinderhulk Shyvana gets incredibly tanky in the late game, but sometimes she just gets ignored while the rest of her team dies. She has no crowd control, and playing without flash makes it that much harder to get people's attention in teamfights. It's unclear exactly how strong TP Smite is, but you'll definitely see players trying it out on Shyvana and on other champions in your games. Pick rate decreases this week feature several once hot champions. I know those feels. Nidalee, Lissandra, Graves, Sejuani, and Xerath are slipping off the table. Unlike most champions on this list, Graves hasn't seen any recent nerfs. He has instead been indirectly nerfed by the tank meta. The Outlaw has impressive burst, but it falls short against the tanks. Killing those requires the sustained damage of auto attacks. Graves has an attack speed steroid, but mediocre base attack speed and range. A Blade of the Ruin King purchase can improve his damage against tanks, but overall, other ADCs usually do the job better. Graves is thus simultaneously very strong, but somewhat of a gamble. He's very dominant in lane and throughout the mid-game if he farms well. If he does not get ahead though, he's susceptible to being outscaled as the game progresses. Players should keep in mind though that while Graves is being picked less in professional play, your own games might not have two super tanks. If this is the case, a Graves pick is solid with few, if any, downsides. Two stealth champions and one not-so-stealthy ninja are up with increased win rates. Bard breaks 40% and is followed by Evelynn, Sona, Rengar, and Shen. Shen is coming off a recent buff in the form of a lower cooldown on his global ultimate, Stand United, but he's also getting some attention as another potential user of the Cinderhulk item. Like Shyvana, Shen is a resourceless champion that likes to split push and can make good use of Red Smite's dueling potential. The new Bammy Cinder Intermediate is also a buff regardless of whether Shen goes Cinderhulk or Sunfire Cape. He's a champion that has historically struggled to push waves quickly, but now with the DPS aura on Bammy Cinder, it means that players have access to clearing items earlier in their build. So is Cinderhulk good on Shen? For Shyvana, it's pretty clearly the best option right now, but it's a little more complicated for Shen. On the one hand, it makes him tankier and more threatening in duels. However, Shen really likes to flash. A classic yet always trendy move is to flash during the cast animation of his Shadow Dash ability. This combination is hard for opponents to react to. Slick players can even catch targets both before and after using flash. So Shen is not the most popular solo queue champion, but do expect to see him every now and again. No human champions to be found on our decreased win rates list this week. Cat, Rat, Armadillo, Plant, Bird, Nidalee, Twitch, Rammus, Zyra, Azir. Okay, Azir used to be human. Stop ruining it. I'm sure you're sick of hearing how great Cinderhulk is. Well, it would appear that one potential user of it is not liking things lately. Rammus is definitely a tank, but his win rate is not going up right now. Why so? It could just be a bad week for the few Rammus players out there. but it also might be that the Armadillo's counters are popular right now. Rammus makes a living taunting squishy, high-damage champions, and also ideally has them on his team as well. He has long CC, but his actual damage is incredibly low early game, so he's not an independent force. When both top laners are beefy, his gank attempts can be disappointing. In the bot lane, his nemesis Janna is as popular as ever, so while Rammus isn't necessarily weak, he often finds himself without a good lane to camp early game. Unlike other tank junglers, Rammus does not want a slow laning phase, as his team fighting can be hit or miss. This is why you often see Rammus players rush home guard Moby boots. They want to keep the game moving and continuously gank rather than farm the jungle like most do these days. It's unlikely you'll see this guy rolling around on the Rift. Increased ban rates are the order of the day for a couple previously obscure champions. Hello, Gragas, Vladimir, Hecarim, Zed, and Cho'Gath. Vladimir is a solo laner getting some attention in professional play. He's mostly seen in the mid lane right now, but the classic Vladimir of old was played in the top lane. He can still be played there, but our bloody friend dislikes playing with teleport. The popular thing to do these days is run both Flash and Ghost for superior mobility. Vladimir has low range and no dashes, so he really needs all the help he can get for team fighting. Or you can be stuck in the past and play him top lane with Ignite, whatever. Just don't try and do that in the mid lane. Vladimir's range is generally too low for him to get 1v1 kills early game against other mages. So why Vladimir and why now? Players want sustained damage to kill all of the annoying tanks running around right now. Vladimir brings sustained damage, especially with some cooldown reduction. Check. He's also in a decent place when it comes to counters. Vladimir is beaten by champions and teams with longer range, but with the recent nerfs to Nidalee and a few other friends, poke comps are a bit less in vogue. Blood and robes with oversized cuffs are instead the fashion for your games today. Most of the champions on last week's decreased ban rate list return. Nidalee and Lissandra have made their way to the top, while Aurelia, Rek'Sai, and LeBlanc are about where they were last time. Nidalee is a swift and nimble foe. She excels at moving through the jungle and evading danger. And for a time, she can even avoid the almighty banhammer. For a time. That time has now ended. Nidalee took a very large hit to her base health and health per level stats in the last patch. She is still capable of all of her annoying mobility and impressive burst, but now is quite squishy in Cougar form. Even good Nidalee players will still have to choose their fights wisely now and only commit when they are certain they won't get hurt. Pay careful attention to the enemy team's crowd control. Wait for them to miss a skill shot or two, or speed up the process by trying to bait and juke the abilities. Many opponents will try to respond immediately after a spear connects. Even just waiting a second before using pounds to close the distance can burn a surprising number of flashes or other defensive abilities. And that does it for this week's show. Make sure you check back every Tuesday for a fresh, hot new episode just for you guys. Oh yeah. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe to our YouTube channel, share this video around to all of your buddies, and check out this week's sponsor. There's a link in the description below to Full Sail's website. Yeah. I'm Lindsay Geektron. You can find me on Twitch TV at Lindsay Geektron. Thanks guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next week.